Oh, should I start it with the sigh like every video?
No.
Teenager therapy, because we have problems too.
Hey everyone, welcome to Teenager Therapy. I'm Gael.
I'm Kayla.
I'm Mark.
I'm Thomas.
I'm Isaac.
And we're so excited to finally be doing this. This podcast is something we've all been really excited about. And we're so excited to finally be able to share this with you. So before we get started, I want to explain what Teenager Therapy is and where we're planning to go with this. And it's basically the platform that we created in order to voice our problems and our opinions and just anything else we might want to say to the world in just a really personal way to us. Because I feel like a lot of teenagers kind of struggle with their personal life. A lot of teenagers struggle with their personal life, their family life, love life, friends, high school, homework, stress, just a ton of things that we're struggling with. And sometimes it could feel like you're alone. You might not have many friends and you might not have someone to talk to. And we created this exactly with those type of people in mind. We want to include them in the conversation, and we want to create a platform where they could listen to us and understand that they're not the only ones struggling with this. And what we wanted to do is kind of just come on here and just talk about whatever's on our mind. Talk about different subjects like mental health or homework, high school in general, our friendships, any like relationships, problems we have. And we wanted to do all of that and build a community while we do it. So I hope you guys enjoy the first episode of Teenager Therapy, because we're very excited to share this with you guys, and hopefully it turns into something great. In this episode, we just wanted to talk about friends because this past week has been pretty eventful, and I think you guys kind of wanted to talk about everything that happened. Anyways, we're all sophomores, by the way, in case you haven't noticed, because I don't
We
think we
always
said
forget
that.
to introduce. It's like we're sophomores. Yeah, we're sophomores.
Sophomores.
Oh.
What?
Yeah.
We're
Suffering
suffering
dude,
more.
yeah,
sophomores.
Wow,
you guys are
so Can I get a clap? Can I get
That was good.
Oh,
No, it's just one clap, you know. So we're like 3, 2, 1. Nice.
Yo, that was gross.
That was
I like
good.
this.
Whoa!
No,
I did.
That's good. Anyways, but yeah, we're all sophomores. Sophomores? Sophomores? Because we
Sophomores.
suffer more. Because freshman year was so easy, dude.
Yeah,
You're fresh.
Oh my god.
God.
Freshman.
No, you know what I noticed? I feel like sophomore year, everyone's getting less close with each other, but at the same time closer.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
It's like selective.
mm-hmm.
They're getting closer with their small group.
Yeah. That's people are finally starting to realize being friends with everyone is not working out for them.
Yeah.
And that's like freshman year. I want to be friends with everyone. And people just don't realize you're gonna lose all of them. And then, if you're lucky, you'll get stuck with a few. But most likely than not, you'll literally have no friends by senior year.
Oh.
That's the fun part.
Yay.
I can't wait, dude. Okay, but Thomas, you specifically,
Okay.
like,
So I wanted to talk about a specific person who I considered my best friend for like a good like 2 years. Yeah, I'll say 2 years. But we were really close. Like she knows a lot of stuff that other people don't know. Like she knows a lot about me.
that's scary.
Yeah, it's very scary because like what if she tells other people
Mm-hmm.
and I know a lot of stuff about her, and so I'm scared that, I'm just scared that that my secrets would just,
She knows a lot about you, right?
yeah, she knows a lot about me.
So you're just like scared that like they'll use it against you. Yeah.
But I also have some stuff on her, so I feel like that
makes you feel safe.
that makes me feel
Yeah.
safer.
But
Wait, so if
But
she-
even then, like, that's still like a big problem. Like, I don't know.
So if she does spill some stuff, are you gonna spill some stuff?
I want to be the bigger person here, and like if she does spill stuff about me, I would just have to I don't know. I would
I mean,
just
Wait,
Is
why
it-
would she?
Yeah.
I don't know.
And like either way, if she does say something about you, is it something that's like it will change everyone's opinion of you? It's like heartbreaking, life breaking. Or is it just like, oh, I
no,
wish
it's just
people
more
didn't know that.
like oh yikes! I would have never expected that from Thomas.
Oh.
So that's why I just don't
Dang.
want that information out. But anyway, continuing with like, my ex best friend basically. So we were best friends for 2 years. We talked all the time. We hung out all the time. All the time. But the problems didn't really start until middle school. Middle school was when she kind of started getting like a little, let's just say, distant. Not distant, but she didn't really want to be my friend that much, or she wouldn't really value me as like, she wouldn't consider me her best friend. So it was like I cared more about her than she did about me, which sucked.
Yeah, that's the worst thing I hate in a friendship, when you
Mhm.
feel like you care more about someone and they just don't care. Like when
Yeah.
they're, I don't know, there's so much into that, specifically like when you trust someone but they don't trust you, when you care about them they don't care about you, when you want to be with them but they don't want to be with you, like you prioritize them, they don't prioritize you. That's like, that's why I'm so selective with people, because when people do that, it's just, I absolutely hate it. I cannot deal with it.
Yeah, it sucks. But like at that point, you just gotta let them go, cut them off.
Cut them off.
Yeah.
You know, I don't think. Dude, I've never cut someone off.
I mean, you can still say hi to them, but like,
Just distance yourself.
because if they don't want to be your friend, then
That's weird. I mean, how do you guys cut someone off? Just like you're friends, and then suddenly you decide you don't want to be friends, so like, you just don't talk to them.
well, there has to be a reason why you're cutting.
Yeah,
them off.
it has to be reasonable.
Yeah.
You can't just stop being friends with someone
Because
and
you
not
want to.
tell them
Yeah,
why.
that doesn't make
Mhm.
sense.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, it's not unreasonable. Like that happened to me. Like, remember how you were talking about like classes and stuff? So like you literally have
Yeah,
no
well,
other
yeah, but-
opportunity
but,
to talk
like,
to them.
Yeah, that's also the case. But if there's literally like no good reason as to why you just can't be can't be friends with them, then like,
Oh, it's not that you can't be friends, but like you guys aren't talking anymore. So it's like, did you really consider yourself still
Yeah,
friends?
I
It's kind of
guess.
weird.
It just fades away.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it just fades.
It's like you're not really not friends. You're just, you know each other, but you don't really talk
Yeah.
often because you don't see each other.
That's what everyone does. Like,
It's like adult friends.
yeah, it's like
Wait,
should
what?
you? Everybody calls like, they talk to someone for a little bit, and they call them their friend. Like, should it really be like that?
Yeah. Oh, when they, so like, if you meet someone, they're like, yeah, they're my friend.
Cause like you laughed a little with them. It's
Yeah.
like, not.
What do you consider? A
You don't
friend?
consider that as a friend?
Yeah, I still
kinda-
consider it, but I feel like as you grow older, you can't really. I don't know. It just doesn't work that way.
but really like throughout the whole friendship, it was kind of toxic. She would like manipulate me into thinking that I was always the one in like that made the mistake instead of like owning up, and so that just kept happening until freshman year. And like, I don't, halfway through freshman year, that was when like I just kind of just got tired of it. Like, she just was so toxic. She brought me down and made me feel like shit almost every day. And so I kind of cut her off. It wasn't like I didn't really mention like, oh, we can't be friends anymore. It was more like I was just like, okay, you know what, I'm done. And then we just stopped talking. But I'm glad that I cut her off because that allowed me to like be happier, and like I was able to make a lot of like new friends. And
I mean,
I
do
don't
you
know,
still
it-
talk to her?
oh yeah, as of right now, we just like, we're acquaintances. We say hi to each other, and sometimes like we ask each other about like homework, but we can never be as close as we can before, because obviously I don't want that kind of like hate between each other for like ever. And so yeah.
That kind of sucks, though.
Yeah, that's.
So when you guys talk, like, is there like, do you guys feel hate, or is it just like we don't talk anymore?
Do you
It's-
hate her?
No, I don't hate her.
Do you
like-
dislike her?
I'm. A lot of people are like, like I don't regret not being her best friend. Like, a lot of people say like I should have never been friends with them in the first place, but I mean I don't really have that feeling. Like I'm glad we were friends
Do you
because
miss
of,
it?
sometimes yes.
Or do you miss the idea of
I've
her?
I could never. I
I've
don't
always
get that.
What?
Like,
Oh wait,
The
hold up. Go on.
I've always mentioned that like, oh, you know, it would be nice to just hang out with her again, but that was in the past. I keep like recalling memories from the past because she's like fun to hang out with, but our friendship was just too toxic. So, yeah.
What were you saying?
yeah, I don't get like, like, do you miss her or the idea of her? Like, what's the difference
What does it
between the two?
mean?
Or
Yeah.
isn't it like so? Basically, you pretending you used to have like fun with the person, right? And you're still friends with them because like you're clinging to that fact. You're like, yeah, I've had fun with them before. They're still a really good friend of mine.
It's basically fantasizing about the good times and ignoring
Oh,
the bad
okay.
times. That's
Yeah.
Alright, I see what
basically
you
it.
mean now.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's like when you,
That's what I'm doing.
it's like when you're in a relationship. It's like when you're in the relationship, you realize you don't want to be with them, but then after you break up, you get that feeling like,
Oh,
I'm not.
okay. I get what you mean then.
But it's because you only think of the good times and all the
Yeah,
happy
not the
times.
bad
That's
times.
exactly what it is.
Mhm.
Yeah, but I really just don't regret being friends with her. And to anyone else who's like having like problems with their best friend, try talking to them. Like, cause I think just trying to like resolve it is the best idea. But obviously,
Well, do you want closure?
what do you mean?
If you stop talking to someone, would it be better to have closure with them? Like, if you had a problem with them, would it be better to solve it?
We don't. I
or just
mean, we don't
let
really
it
have
go?
problems anymore. Like I mean, it's not that I kind of forgave her, in a way. Like I always keep that in mind. Like I'm not gonna like completely degrade her actions, and ignore them, and just like, oh no, that was in the past. It's okay. Like I'm still taking that into consideration, whenever I'm like becoming too like personal with her again. And so, yeah, it's just,
Wait, what was the problem? Why was it toxic?
it was toxic because she would just,
Did it feel like one-sided?
yeah, it was
Okay.
one-sided, and like she would make me feel really bad like almost
Oh.
every day. We had a lot of problems,
Okay.
but yeah, I know that I was also accountable for our problems too.
Okay.
I'm not gonna like make it seem like she's a bad person. Like, yeah, sure she did bad stuff, but I still think that she still has like a pretty good heart. And I know that I did stuff that I shouldn't have done. And I hope she forgives me for that. Like I forgave her.
You want to talk about your problem?
We had to talk about this yesterday.
Yeah.
We talked about
Yesterday,
it. We were on some self-realization shit.
Mark and I had a talk, and we just kind of helped each other with his problems because he has a lot of things he struggles with.
Uh-huh.
Wait, are you one of those people that like?
And I don't realize it.
No, but you need other people to talk to, to solve your problems. Like you rely on others.
I find that like that's what happens.
Mm. But you just like start relying on them.
Relying?
Yeah.
What do you mean relying though?
Like, do you rely on them to like help you solve your problem?
No. It's kind of like it just happens.
It just happens.
Yeah. It's more of like a every time I found a problem by myself, it's through somebody else.
Mm.
Yeah.
I mean, what do you struggle with yourself? Is there something in general that you're like, I hate this? Because yesterday
Go on.
you were talking about like, you were mad because you felt like you were
Oh
just
yeah, I was mad.
annoying.
Yeah, I don't know. It was kind of self-esteem. I don't know. Everything just happened, and I just felt mad.
So you felt mad that like you felt like you're being annoying? What?
Yeah.
Do you always feel like? 'Cause
Exactly.
I know. Yeah. Like, You always
Yes.
say that. You always feel like you're annoying, and you always feel
Yeah.
like you're being obnoxious or boring, and
Mhm.
but that doesn't mix. How can you be boring but obnoxious?
What do you mean?
It makes.
Oh, boring and obnoxious.
Exactly.
sometimes I don't know what to talk about, and
I feel like you're annoying.
yeah, I feel like I'm annoying.
But like, why do people like tell you that? Do you notice it in some?
No, I just noticed like, body language,
Oh,
eye contact, faces. You know what I'm saying?
yeah.
You know what I mean? That type of thing.
Yeah, I get the same feeling sometimes. Like,
Yeah.
yeah, like sometimes I just feel like I'm being obnoxious.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Just from the vibe I'm getting from everyone.
And it's just you're being you, and then once you just get that, like,
yeah, and afterwards,
Yeah, it
you're
hits-
just like,
and you're like, wow,
maybe
I
I
was
was like
obnoxious.
annoying, yeah.
And you're like,
Mhm.
oh,
And
I
you
didn't
just-
want to be like that.
and you just feel bad about yourself.
It'd be like that sometimes.
Well,
That like you get like those like sudden like you act so differently. You're like, I'm not really like that. I believe that person doesn't think I'm like that. Okay, that happened to me in Avid. Like
the
I was
tutor?
the tutor. I was being like so stupid.
No, I didn't think you were.
I felt like that's like why like you
see,
feel like it.
That's what I mean.
but
Like,
other
you might
people
feel
don't.
Stupid, but yeah, exactly. Other people might not
Not.
feel that way. Like, I've found you like
Annoying.
personally. There have been a few times that I find you annoying, but that's like common with everyone.
Yeah.
But in general, I don't see you as an annoying or obnoxious person. It's only when you do certain things. But I don't think that really has to do with just you in general being annoying. And
Mhm.
the thing we talked about yesterday was that I kind of felt that the reason you felt that you were being annoying and obnoxious so often is because you said it was because you feel that way because of the way people react, right?
Yeah.
Like the way they
I know
talk.
this the little signs. Yeah.
Yeah, the way they talk, their body language.
Mhm.
And I felt like that was you just having expectations for how it's gonna be.
Yeah. I noticed that myself.
Yeah.
Like,
The expectations in people? Because
The idea of them?
no. Like,
how they would react.
like when I in my head,
Mm-hmm.
I think about what I'm gonna say, and I sort of like form like an expectation, like they're probably gonna see this, and then I just make up like a own script or scenery in my head.
Of what, how they're gonna react to
Yes.
everything.
Yeah.
Like
I do that too.
and I feel like okay, that's gonna be like a good conversation.
And then when it doesn't go that way,
It
you
doesn't
get
go
mad.
that way. It's
You
not.
get mad.
I don't get mad. It's just
You don't get mad.
no. When it does go that way,
You
Like-
just feel stupid.
Yeah.
You're just like, oh shit, I regret saying that.
exactly. Yes, Thomas. Yes.
I feel stupid.
Especially when it's like a person like you don't talk a lot to. So like you want to make a really good conversation since like you're just gonna get it in there and you mess up, so then it's like wow, it's like a bad aftertaste.
I think it's the worst when it's a person you want to have a good time with, but you
Oh,
just
yeah.
can't, and then you
Yeah.
just feel stupid.
Yeah.
Oh man, yeah.
And sometimes, yeah, and like back to what I was saying, when it does like not go your way, like I don't know what to say afterwards, cause like I was literally like reliant on that plan.
For it to you had like it all set, and then when it
Yes.
doesn't go that way, you're like,
I don't know what to do, and I get all awkward, and
And you get awkward
and
when things.
I usually stay quiet.
So like, what do you just stay quiet? Do you say anything at all?
He just like shuts down.
Well, like, so is the other person quiet as well?
Well, it depends on on the people, like what I'm.
Yeah.
But you see, that's the trait that like I hate in someone. When I had a thought, and it was not about expectations. It's not about having expectations. But it's about. Damn it! I forgot what I was thinking. Because you were talking about. What were you talking about?
Yesterday.
No, right now.
Right now.
You were. What did you mention?
Damn, did I forget?
Oh man, we all forgot. No, you mentioned.
Annoying and boring.
You know,
Yeah.
you mentioned.
Yeah,
you were
but,
being
like,
annoying, you were being annoying.
The things doesn't go like what I planned
Oh, exactly. You get mad when things don't go the way you planned it to.
to. No. I get mad that it went bad, and that it's all, and I think it's all my fault
You think
that I stay quiet.
So you don't get mad when it's. You want it. You get upset when it doesn't go your way and then you shut down.
No, it's not. We're not gonna. No, wait. Okay,
'Cause
wait.
that's what it seems like.
Okay, wait. So like, you just get awkward, right? You have anything else to say?
Yeah,
Okay, I can first.
It's not because-
like,
I'm not
See that.
consciously doing it. It's like more like a reacted that I'm reacting this way because of this.
But then, does that mean you're upset if you stop trying to talk?
I don't get upset.
Well, then what's happening?
I get upset that I don't get upset at that. Not that part.
But you do get upset.
Well, okay, wait. It's so hard to like talk about it because we already talked about it. So like, back then I knew what I was thinking, cause, like,
Right.
I don't know.
Cause
Like I already know what's because we already talked about it.
No, the thing you told me yesterday is you have expectations for how you want things to go. You want a certain conversation to go a certain way. You want a certain text, and
I want it to be good.
you want it to be good. But then when things don't go that way, you get upset. Even though you say you're not, the way you react really suggests you get upset. You get upset with things not going
With
the way you
myself.
want.
Yeah, I feel like
Not at them.
Exactly.
At myself.
At yourself. Exactly. Well, why do you? And then you getting upset makes you feel annoying. You getting upset just makes you feel annoying and obnoxious.
I get upset. No, you got it the other way
Yeah,
around.
the
I get upset that I am annoying and obnoxious. Because then, when I do stay quiet and then I try to say something, like it doesn't work. Then I just feel like I messed up, and then it's all my fault. I blame myself.
I just
you
think-
just feel like a really like you just get overwhelmed by like regret and like
Yeah.
you're just like,
Mhm.
"Ugh, I really wish I didn't say that."
Yeah.
And, like,
Yeah.
yeah, it's not that he's upset with what happened. He's just like upset that like
with himself.
he didn't really
Mhm.
fulfill
Exactly.
his expectations.
And I think
guess.
that like I was so dumb, and then
Yeah.
then
That's-
I started getting mad at myself about like why am I like this,
Yeah, you see.
and then my low self-esteem went down.
You start
and
thinking
all
of things you
that
could have said, like I could've said
exactly
this.
other scenarios, and then that
Yeah.
starts things.
You
Yeah,
see, that's what like I'm getting at. That like this all revolves around expectations. And that's what we talked about yesterday.
Yeah.
That you have expectations for how you want things to go. And then, what I'm trying to get at is because of those expectations, you're so self-centered around wanting things to go your way that you
Mhm.
get upset when they don't go your way. And that's the problem with you. That's the biggest problem that I think you have. Because it's just, it's complicated because I'm not really sure how you solve it. Because how do you go from being so self-centered to... I think it just has to do with having less expectations.
Mhm.
If
And
you-
that it should just go natural.
It should just be... Exactly. You
Just go with the flow.
Mm-hmm. You shouldn't have these expectations set for people or for yourself or for the way you want life to go. Because when it doesn't go that way, of course you'll get upset.
Mhm.
That's why I don't have expectations. Because that means you're always in control,
Yeah.
basically. If something goes wrong, you'll make the best out of it. It's like being a pessimist and an optimist.
Half empty, half full
Mm-hmm.
glass.
It's what your expectations were set for that class. Were you expecting it to be full?
Yeah. Mhm. Yeah, that's a good analogy.
Really?
Yeah.
I'm glad. But the other problem you have. is
Well,
your-
we talked about a lot of things.
Yeah.
So I don't know if we can like
Well, no,
talk
I
about
just,
it here.
I just wanted to say that like, you need more confidence.
More confidence. We did talk about that. Yeah.
But then, what we struggled with is like, how do you
Get
help
confident.
someone gain confidence?
Mhm. And what I said is that when you get confidence, you don't realize it, because confidence is like you just have it.
Yeah.
I don't think that explains enough. Wait.
Well, so you're just trying to say that like, it's something that comes natural. You can't force it.
Yeah, it comes naturally.
Exactly. But that's the problem. I think that's what people struggle with, because if you can't force it and you can't consciously think about trying to have confidence, how can you improve on it?
It just takes time. That's the thing. Like
yeah.
it's just one of those things where it's time and patience. Like obviously you're not gonna suddenly become confident over like a night, you know? Like it takes like it's a long process, like just trying to take pride within yourself and just being like happy for who you are.
Yeah, you gotta feel good about yourself.
Yeah.
High self-esteem.
Yeah, well, but people struggle with that. How do
Yeah.
you feel good about yourself? And I feel like in order for that, you have to actively be doing something
That you enjoy.
you want to improve. Because,
Improve.
yeah, like improve and enjoy. Because if you want to have confidence, you need to do things you're proud of. Because success is what makes you confident, in my opinion. I feel like if you set a goal for yourself, like this is gonna be my grades at the end of the school year, and if you meet those goals, your confidence goes up, because you're like, okay, I'm able to do that.
Yeah.
Like, that's how you get confident, by completing the goals you set for yourself. And that's how I feel you get confidence. But I don't know if you guys have a different view on what confidence is.
Man, you have it together.
I know, Gael. You do.
Like, let's give some context. Dude, you play a sport, you go to the gym every day, you own a company, a shop, like, you have it together, and you have confidence.
Yeah, and I don't know where that came from. Like, that's what I'm saying. Like, I could talk about what confidence is to me, but I can't talk about why. I guess just I can't. I struggle with trying to help others in helping them gain confidence, because I think the only way to really gain it is, of course, over time and with completing achievements. But I feel like maybe some people have a different meaning of what confidence means. I feel like some people don't necessarily need to achieve something in order to feel confident. Maybe it's just about being happy with yourself.
I feel like since you've already like done what you wanted to, like you wanted to do a podcast, you wanted to make your own company, you wanted to go to the gym, and since you have so dedication, then like that also plays a part in your confidence, because then like you just fulfill your dreams and what you want, and so then you just feel like you have your stuff together and you're proud of who you become, you know?
Exactly. That's how I gain my confidence, by doing things. If I'm unhappy with myself, I first need to figure out what I'm unhappy about, and then I'm gonna fix it. So if I'm unhappy with the way I look, I'm gonna go do something about that. If I'm unhappy with the way I'm living, I'm gonna do something about that. If I want to do something, I'm gonna do it, and that's how I think. And when I say I'm gonna do something and I complete that task, that's what gives me confidence. But I don't know, how do you guys deal with your problems? So one thing I did want to ask is, when you're unhappy with yourself, how do you solve it? How do you fix that? When there's something about yourself you don't like, what do you do?
Okay, so I'm like that thing, just no matter what, I just start thinking about it. I just can't stop. So I'm like eager to solve that problem. So like I immediately just start doing things, like for example, like let's see, pretending you don't like the way you act around people. So like I'll be thinking like ways, I'm like, what can I do? Like, what am I doing wrong to not sustain conversations, or things like that, like how Mark was saying, being boring. Like, I don't know why, but when I talk to you, Mark, too, I feel like I'm being boring.
What?
Because I'm like, hi, you're like, hi, and then we stop, and then we just leave. So I'm like, so that's why I was like, do you feel like you're being boring yourself too, or what?
Yeah, no, okay, I do it with a lot of people. Like, I say, sometimes, like, the reason why we're friends, because we say hi.
Yeah.
With other people.
Mm-hmm.
But we still talk, right?
We still talk, but like...
And we're in this podcast together.
But, I know, we could talk here, but like, not on our own terms.
It's me.
You guys just
No,
know
but
how
I feel like
to kind
it's
of
me.
develop that.
I think it's both.
Both.
Because I feel it with Mark and Isaac both.
Me?
Yeah. And I think you feel it too.
Okay, well...
That you can't talk with them?
I
Or they
feel
just
like-
No,
talk
I
with each
can
other?
talk with him, but it's just not as like, I don't know I'm trying to think what to say.
As personal as like you are with
Yes.
me. Yeah.
Exactly.
But
I,
I feel like that
I
takes
feel like I
time.
feel it with everyone. Maybe not
Yeah,
as
maybe
much with
it's just
Isaac.
because we're like new to like being
Exactly,
friends and stuff.
Like with Kayla, I'm not that uncomfortable because I read for a lot of classes,
Oh, that's true.
and you laugh at everything, so it doesn't feel uncomfortable. Like I'm at this now. But Mark, like he seems really like shy, so I'm like, I
No.
talk to him, and I'm like,
Yeah, you
Exactly.
seem
I'm like, I
reserved,
can't
because he
open-
seems so shy,
but he's
yet
not.
not shy.
I just gotta get
Yeah,
comfortable
deep
with
down,
you
I know
guys.
he's not shy and
It
he
feels
wants
like-
to talk, but
yeah.
it's like so awkward. I
It's
just
like
can't.
he's so outgoing, but uncomfortable with people. I think
Yeah.
that's what I feel from him. Like he wants to do everything. He wants to be like outgoing, but as soon as someone says hi, he's like, "Okay, I'm not gonna talk to you." That's what I feel.
I mean, I say hi.
Of course you say hi, but I feel like deep down.
But
it's
yeah,
like,
but I
whatever.
don't continue the conversation. Or like, I don't. Well, I'm starting to do that now. Like, I say, oh, how are you? Or like, oh,
Yeah.
hey, how are you? Good. How are you?
Okay,
Right.
but now that me and you have acknowledged that, I'm pretty sure like
Dude, we're gonna be good.
now we're good at.
We're
I'm
gonna
pretty
be
sure-
good.
So we're like, oh, we're pulling that BS again.
Exactly.
Like,
Yeah, I feel it's like getting some.
It's getting personal.
Get something off your
That's what it
chest.
is.
Yeah, getting.
Yeah.
Yeah, getting.
Exactly.
Wait, what? I can't say that. Getting something off your chest.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, that.
But okay, so you see like that. You deal with your problems by fixing it,
Yeah.
by
So
thinking
there you
about
go.
it,
That's a problem
Mhm.
dealt with.
and turning that unhappiness
Oh my.
into something productive. And like,
Mhm.
what do you do, Kayla?
For what?
When you're unhappy with yourself, what do you do to fix it?
I don't know. It depends on what I'm unhappy with. Do you understand what I'm saying?
No.
Like if I'm unhappy with my body, then like I'll try to run or like
Mhm.
eat healthier. You know.
So you're the same way.
Yeah.
Like you're gonna do something about it.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. What about you, Mark?
What?
How do you deal with your problems?
Well, what problems?
The problems with yourself.
Okay,
If you're unhappy with yourself,
like appearance-wise, or
doesn't matter. Appearance-wise, you want to work. You want to be able to do this. You have a goal for yourself because you set that because you were unhappy with the way things were going in your life. So how do you deal with it?
honestly, I think my motivation, or like I'm driven by motivation, and I know it's not good, but like
Motivation from others.
yeah, from other people.
Mm-hmm.
It's not that. It's not that I'm taking the initiative that I'm trying to fix these problems. It's that people told me to fix these problems, and that's when I've actually like take the problems into consideration. That's when I like do it.
You don't think about it yourself.
No,
Why?
it just doesn't come to mind.
But what if
really.
you're unhappy
Oh,
with it?
yeah. Like, what if I'm unhappy with it?
Like you say, you're annoying.
Yeah, and sometimes like I just say, you know what, you just gotta live with it because that's how you are. And I know it's not a good way to
So
say.
you just go with the flow. Like,
And
whatever.
sometimes you
Yeah.
just like come to like a conclusion that like actually I'm just overthinking it. I'm like not obnoxious. Like
Mhm.
I feel like I'm just overthinking it and like
But
yeah.
sometimes like it is the problem, but
Mhm.
like you're just putting it away because you just don't want to deal with it.
Hans, I know you deal with it by affirmation.
Oh, hello. So
Oh my god.
So, in a way, I almost like don't even deal with my problems. If like I'm unhappy with someone, I don't really do anything to fix it. Or actually, no, I lied. I'm joking. Okay, if I'm unhappy with something in terms of like maybe my appearance, like then I'll try and do something about it. Like there was this one time where I just felt so like insecure and like I just hated everything about me, and then so I just like I did a lot of like exercise like during that week, and that just made me feel good. But when in terms of like my like traits, if I'm unhappy with like the way I'm acting, I usually just I always try to keep it in mind. I always cuz usually people bring it up and I don't really sometimes I like I realize that it's a problem for me, but usually it's other people saying, "Hey, like you have this problem and you should probably fix it." And so I just try like I always try to keep it into my I just take it into consideration. And I'm just like, okay, I shouldn't do this, I shouldn't do that. But yeah, it just takes time for me. Honestly, my solution whenever I'm unhappy with something is I keep those things in mind, and yeah, it just takes time for me.
So, like you said, you were unhappy with the way you looked, so you did a lot of exercise for that week.
Yeah, just that week though.
But like, does that make you feel better?
Just that week.
Like just like knowing you like made an attempt.
Yeah, knowing that I tried to do something about it just made me like.
So it's not necessarily you want to fix it. You just want to like feel like.
No, not that. It's just like, yeah. I mean, I try. I mean, I'm going to the gym right now, so in a way, like I am fixing it, but during that time, that week, because I was very like affected by it. But after that week, it was more like, you know
It
what?
doesn't matter.
Yeah, it doesn't. It shouldn't matter anymore. But I mean, I still care.
And
That's
like,
why I go to the gym.
what about like that one time that you like told me you were like unhappy with yourself, and then I'm all like, you should go to the gym.
Oh.
Like,
Oh,
but then you
because-
said you wanted
oh,
like
yeah,
words
yeah,
of
yeah, yeah.
affirmation.
So there was this one time where I told Gael that like, oh, I'm unhappy with something, like, and then he just said to go to the gym, but that was not the answer I wanted. I wanted him
Well, I
to
mean,
like reassure
oh.
me in a way. I wanted him to like,
Oh.
oh no, I think that you're fine just the way you like. Sometimes that's all I need. Sometimes
Mhm.
all I need from someone when I'm telling them my problems is just words of affirmation or just like
Mhm.
reassurance.
So you
Letting
just-
me know that, oh, it shouldn't be a problem, Thomas. It's okay. But I also need that like logical perspective, and yeah.
But no,
But
I feel like
from-
you just want that emotional.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. But I know that the
That-
logical
Mm-hmm.
perspective is like also like,
That's what
essential.
I struggled with because like I couldn't give you that emotion.
Oh
I
yeah,
can't just tell you like
it's because you lack a lot of
exactly,
empathy.
I lack empathy. So when I fix my problems, if I'm unhappy with myself, of course I'm gonna go out and fix it. I don't want people to tell me, it's okay, you're perfect just the way you are.
Well, it's not necessarily telling you you're perfect. They'll like compliment you on something that's really nice about you.
Yeah, and then you'll just like,
Yeah,
oh,
and then you fix the part you don't
yeah.
like.
But I don't.
And then you just have that burst of
Exactly.
like,
Yeah.
You think of like a literal solution,
Yes, of course.
but some people just want that like.
Yeah, and I couldn't relate to Thomas during that time when he was like, I'm unhappy with myself. So I was like, oh, okay, let me help you fix it. But I helped him fix it the way I would fix it, which is by doing something about it. So I was like, all right, we should fix it. We'll go to the gym. I'll help you like do things there and like your exercise and eat right, and then over time we'll fix it. But you said, no, that's not what I want. I don't want to do that. And then like you told me you just wanted words of affirmation, which is something like I struggle with because to me it doesn't make sense. Like you're
you're just not a very emotional person, and
Wait.
I understand that.
Can I give an example? So like, basically, Thomas tells me that he's unhappy with himself, right? You can be like, okay, Thomas. So like, what are you happy about, right? And like, someone's unhappy about like pretending their weight, right? You could be like, oh, you can compliment them. Oh, you have really nice hair, everything. Come with me to the gym so you can lose weight and you'll look so good, like.
That's the perfect
I-
solution, both sides.
Yeah,
Yeah,
you get
I
both
feel I
sides.
feel like if that was the case, then I would have felt better. But the thing is that when you get both the logical and the emotional kind of help, then it kind of just makes you feel both better, and like helps you understand that okay, I should start working towards it. Because when you because the thing is that Gael he just told me to go to the gym. Like, he didn't really show that he cared. It was more like annoyance
Well,
and
that's-
irritation. It was more like, you should just go to the gym. Like, what are you doing? You know?
Well, that's not how he said it.
No, I summarized it. It was more, but you seemed irritated by like me just not choosing to go to the gym. You know?
Okay, well, you see, that's how Thomas sees it. And my point of view is he told me about it. He's like, I'm unhappy with this part of myself. I was like, oh, okay, well, I mean, if you want, we could go to the gym together and we could, like, work on it and, like, it'll get better, right? And to me, that's my solution of, like, we'll work on it together because I care for you and I want to help you improve on that. But since I didn't like show empathy, it's kind of like, I guess Thomas just thinks I don't care and like I'm doing nothing.
Yeah. So, it's just, yeah, I mean, I understand that.
I don't know.
Because that's just how you think.
You just made it sound very like,
Oh, yeah.
I just said, go to the gym.
No, it wasn't like that. It was more like he just. It didn't really like. Obviously, it like he cared, but it wasn't very like he didn't put a lot of emotion into it. He cared, but he didn't. You know, I feel like sometimes you just side with Gael simply because you guys have just had like a longer friendship, and so you guys, so you have like this kind of double standards with like between Gael and I, where like if Gael did something, it would have been okay, but when I do it, it wouldn't have been. I don't know. It's just like just how like I've been noticing, just like the stuff I recall. Like, yeah, like there have been like times where I just think that if the roles were reversed and Gael was in my position, I felt like he wouldn't have been blamed.
Wait, give an example.
Basically.
Like, what do you mean roles reverse and all that? Like, clarify, elaborate.
Okay. Well, I mean, it doesn't really happen anymore because okay, because
Wait,
Did
let me
you-
explain. Okay, so the reason it doesn't happen anymore is because at first, I guess I used to do it because like, I don't know, you would like, I don't know, I just always saw that you like complain about everything, so I was always thinking that you were in the wrong. Cause I just wanted to say well, but I always just thought you were in the wrong.
Cause like,
But then after like a while, I'm like, okay, you know what? I have to think it from Thomas' side because like everybody like handles situations differently. So like, what if I was Thomas? I would be like, that's not fair.
Oh, okay.
Mhm.
Yeah, so that problem is resolved.
You definitely built like a reputation that's hard to defend, which is why you felt like it was double standards.
Yeah, I see that. I'm just really sensitive, and so when people usually just assume that like the other person wasn't to blame simply because like, oh, Thomas was probably just, being like the sensitive person he has always been, and yeah, he's just unreasonable because all he cares about is like emotion and not logic, So yeah, I understand now. Thanks, Isaac.
And bringing it back to expectations, I don't like it when people have like
They think they know what you're gonna do.
yeah, they assume that you're gonna do this because you act like this. But like, if you want to get the issue resolved, just talk to them.
Isaac definitely is very stubborn.
Oh yeah, he's
very
very stubborn.
Like he has this like, what I've noticed is that if he feels like he's being ordered, he won't do it, because then he gets very upset. So you have to be very patient with him and very polite and be like, instead of telling him, Isaac, do this please, you gotta be like, hello Isaac, can you please do this? It would
Wait, can I
greatly
explain
help."
it? Okay, so it was like a long time before I became your friend. Well, this has like affected me throughout like my whole. This is how I act with friends. So like, it was a way. It's like I wouldn't be friends with people for like a long time because I had to move.
Mhm.
So like, when people like tell you something like that, it's like it's a one-sided thing. So it's like they're like
Like what?
commanding you to do everything,
Oh.
and obviously I don't think that, but like that's I don't know. That's how I think.
You just feel like you're being ordered around.
Yeah, I'm like,
You don't like that?
no, I just don't like it.
Yeah, I always notice that you hate it.
Like, if you were like, can you do this? But like, you just do this.
Oh.
I hate it. I can't
Seriously.
stand it.
Yeah, I see what you mean.
Yeah, you're just so stubborn. Sometimes I'm just trying to get you to like stop. You're like, no.
No, because you're like, do this, and then you're like, can you do it? I'm like, fine.
No, you do it.
Yeah.
And I say yeah, and I'm like, Isaac, no, please take it seriously. No.
Okay, but then
I'm just joking.
But then I start saying, okay, at one point, I start joking around. The first time I'm serious.
You start joking around
but
for
then-
20 minutes.
and then I start joking
You started to
around.
joke around for 20 minutes, and then you're finally like, okay, fine. I'm like, what?
Because I find it awkward if I'm just like, no, and then yes.
Well, then.
Oh my god.
Cause I just say what I think. Like I don't like to say like immediately what I like to think, but for that I guess I kind of do.
Well, that's the worst thing about you. You're so stubborn, and I hate it.
And I realize I'm
Passion.
stubborn.
Fix it.
I don't know.
Can you
because-
please fix it?
Okay, for like with you, I guess I could fix it, but with other people, I can't.
I get that.
Cause like another thing is like when they order you and you're like yes, 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 like it just makes you feel like gullible, you know? You're like,
Yeah.
wow, like, cause if it's with someone you're close, I guess you're fine. But if it's like someone else, and then they'll just keep on doing that to you,
Exactly. You don't
And
want
it's
people to
just
take
terrible.
advantage of you.
which is why like the first time they tell me to do something, they order me, I'm like yeah, sure. But then they do it again and again, I'm just like no, like no matter what, I just don't care. I'm just like no, no, no.
You said it. You say it. You always say it in such a funny way, though. It's so funny. Isaac's like 4'3".
I'm not 43. Shut up.
No, he's like
I'm like 5'4".
4'8". Oh.
I'm 5'4". Shut up.
Wait, as in
You're
height?
5'4"?
Yeah, it's
I'm
in height.
5'3".
I'm like 5'3" and a half actually.
Oh my god, never mind.
But like the doctor says, I'm closer to 5'4".
Oh, the doctor said you.
The doctor's got my
like
back.
5'4".
He wants me to be tall. The doctor's got my back.
That's so funny. It's.
I'll get my growth spurt soon.
Yeah, he'll get his growth spurt soon. He's
Me
not a
too,
tall
hopefully.
person. so
I'm only
He
15.
just looks funny when he gets upset. He's like this tall. Okay, well, what are the problems you have with me?
For me, I've gotten used to the problems. I don't even know what they are anymore.
Got used to them? What?
Yeah, like it was like I don't know, cause I just at first I have the problems and then I'm like, oh, it's Gael. Okay. I
Oh my
understand.
god.
Like,
Like,
what?
I just forget them. Like they'll just go away.
Then I guess they just aren't that important.
I guess.
For me, I feel like you just think too like going back to like what happened before. Like I just think Gael just doesn't really show a lot of emotion. Like he always thinks so logically, and that annoys me so much because sometimes all I need from him is just to just take. He's very inconsiderate, and so he doesn't really understand what I'm going through, and like I don't know, he just doesn't. Well, he doesn't try to see it from my perspective. He just thinks a bit logically. Like there's just some problems where you can't really fix. You know, it's just what you have to go through. But Kyle can really understand that. He really can't. He just thinks that there's a solution to everything.
No, I feel like I agree with Gael though. Like I feel like you can there's a solution for everything, but it's just
Oh yeah,
that-
yeah. It's just how you deal with it. But
But-
Gael just, I don't know. It's not always a logical solution, Gael.
but what am I saying?
Yeah, I'm
But
sorry.
it's just that not everybody's gonna be happy.
But yeah, I just think that if Gael was a little bit more considerate, then I'd really appreciate it because
I'm very inconsiderate.
yeah, very inconsiderate.
Oh yeah, that's something you just learn to live with. And
Oh
then,
my God.
like I already know Gael's inconsiderate, but like the thing is I can be inconsiderate sometimes. It's just that like I'm considerate in my head, but to the person,
Mhm.
I'm considerate even though I'm really thinking to be inconsiderate.
Oh my god. What? Wait, but what does being inconsiderate mean?
It's like you're not really taking the other person's like
Emotion.
situation, their emotions, like what they're going through.
Like I just
And,
force
like,
the
look-
words.
yeah.
I force the words like they're like all sad. I'm like, oh, is there anything I can do?
Yeah,
But, like in
you
your head, you're
force
really
it.
like there's nothing I can do. Like
Yeah, like I'm
honestly,
sorry.
you can solve it this way. Like there's nothing I can
Yeah,
do.
that's what I struggle with. Like, I try to be considerate, but in my head, I do notice I'm very inconsiderate. Like, if someone talks to me about their problem, like I'll instantly find a solution to it. Like, okay, how about we start doing this? But I know that's not what they want to hear. So then, I hate it because then it's kind of fake. You gotta be like, okay, well, don't worry about it. It's okay. Things will get better. You're okay.
I don't do that. I'm like, is there anything I can do? And they're like, no. And I'm like, what else am I supposed to say?
Exactly, that's what I mean.
Because they don't want to elaborate what they need help with. They just want to be like, it's okay.
Yeah.
But then the next day they start crying. They can
Yeah.
never solve their problem.
And maybe they need help with it, and I get it. But it's just kind of hard when you try to help them solve it, but it's almost like they don't want a solution. It's almost like they want to be sad.
Yeah.
And
They just want the attention.
sometimes, not all of them.
Not all of them. But
Sometimes.
no, but like they just want that emotional support.
Yeah, they just want the emotional support. Because sometimes it feels good to cry.
Yeah.
So sometimes I feel like they might just be okay with it at this point.
But some people take advantage of
Yeah,
it,
some people
Mhm.
definitely.
and then they
take
just want
advantage.
attention.
Yeah.
Kayla, how do you like? Do you agree with what we're saying?
Yeah. What's
About
How, like
Gael?
Gael, yeah.
Well, I don't really talk to Gael, so I can't really say if he's like inconsiderate or like he's really nice, considerate or whatever. But hearing like other people, then I'm guessing like
I mean, consider.
Yeah.
Yeah.
and like Thomas tells me like about you and so, but I can't say like unbiased opinions.
So there's like no like when you think of us, there's no problems. Not even like the smallest
Gael?
problem.
Mhm.
With
No.
all of us. With all of us.
Really? I thought you
Like,
would've,
like,
have
even
you
the
just
smallest
noticed
problem.
something in Gael that like you're just like, oh,
that kind of annoys
you
me.
know?
I
be
feel like
something
It
you
really
doesn't
would've.
annoy
small.
me.
Really?
Or you
But,
find like it's annoying to other people.
Well, for Thomas, I know
Well,
that.
yeah. I mean, that's
yeah.
like that's just going to their problem.
Yeah.
Exactly.
That's interesting.
Mhm.
You know, sometimes it's like I'm very. I think I'm just very hard to relate to. Cause
He's edgy.
yeah, maybe. I don't know. It's just the way I think and the way I act. It's a very hard thing to relate to, and I've noticed that. Like, there's not many people that think the same way I do, which is why sometimes maybe that's why I'm so selective with friends, because most people, I just can't be friends with them. Like, I just get bored of them or tired of them.
Yeah, so you don't get bored of me. You know you love me, huh?
I love
Yeah.
you. I
His
do.
mind.
Yeah.
Wow.
In his mind. Oh my God.
You know my
His
mind's
height.
on your level.
Your mind is like.
We think the same
we
thing.
think we are one alike. Oh my God. Yeah, I'm very selective with friends because I really enjoy being around people that have strong opinions and are willing to share them.
Yeah.
So very smart people that are like strongly opinionated. I think I really want to meet someone like that.
Some people have strong opinions, but like going back to confidence, they don't have the confidence to say them because
Yeah.
like they know it's strong and they don't want to make the person like feel
Mhm.
bad.
Mhm.
That's
Yeah,
why.
but I love honesty. Like I love harsh
Yes.
honesty. I don't like having anything be sugar coated, because that kind of sucks. Because a lot of people like just naturally sugar coat it because you don't want to make the other person feel bad.
Yeah.
But like it's hard to understand that someone literally just wants you to like tell them the hard truth. Because for me personally, it doesn't hurt me. Like you could tell me the worst thing about myself, as harsh as you can, and I would just be like, yeah, I get where you're coming from. Okay, I'll get on it. I'll fix it. I'm not gonna like be like get sad over it.
And be petty.
Exactly.
Yeah, because you
I
know
love-
you can solve it.
Yeah,
like-
I know I can solve it. So I just love when people tell me a harsh truth and the harsh reality.
Yeah, I like it because you get to solve that problem,
Mhm.
and like you kind of feel closer to that person because like they identified your problem,
Exactly.
in which you can fix.
Wait, but then like, how come like that hasn't really like, that didn't really apply when I told you about like your lack of consideration?
I am trying.
Oh, okay.
But the
Alright.
thing is, it's of course it takes time.
Yeah.
It takes time, and sometimes you just make it really hard to be considerate. Like, like let's think of it like this: if someone gets mad at the smallest things, and you're like trying super hard to really understand their problem, and be like, okay, Thomas, well, how about we do this or this, and they're still like, no, I don't want to do that. I don't know. It's hard to explain, but it's like sometimes it feels like the person doesn't even want a solution. And you're trying your best to be considerate and be understanding of their situation, but the problem is just so small, it's hard to relate to. Like, how would you solve if someone, let's say, they wanted to go to this place, but you didn't want to go there, so then they started crying. And like let's say 4 people wanted to go to this certain place, but there was one person that didn't want to go there, so they start crying because they're not going to the place they want to go. Like, how do you deal with that? Like, it just in any way you look at it, it doesn't make sense. It's just the person being selfish and self-centered, and that's why sometimes it's like, how can I be considerate for that? Like, there's nothing like that problem is not on me. It's on you trying to blame it on me and telling me to be considerate for you because you're so self-centered.
I cry a lot.
Thomas cries a ton, dude.
Yeah.
You, like throughout the course of this podcast, I'm 100% sure Thomas will like cry in like a couple of seasons.
We
Oh,
may
seasons.
cut it
And
out.
just
Yes.
totally.
We may
Should I
cut it
collect the
out.
tears?
Maybe
And
I'll
see how much
Yeah.
it gets? Okay.
We may have to like we'll start collecting the tears, of course. See teenager tears.
Teenager therapy.
But Thomas cries so much, dude. It's like it's to the point where he's just it doesn't affect anyone anymore.
It's like you don't like, you know when someone cries, you're like, oh, okay.
Like the first time they cry, you're like, oh.
But now
damn.
you're just like, oh.
It kinda
okay,
lost
he's
its value.
crying.
Yeah, it loses its value, and like Thomas.
Damn, it be like this.
Okay, but yeah, go.
Like I remember Thomas telling me that like you can't overuse your emotions. You were so upset over that because I kept telling you like.
Oh
Thomas,
yeah,
you're
it was just
overusing
cause
them.
like I just like I don't know.
That's just the way you are.
Yeah, it was just the way I was, and like I didn't really understand that of like how sensitive I was.
Yeah. Like if you see him crying, it's just like, okay, whatever, he's crying, and like I think a lot of people feel that way, but of course they're too scared to admit it. And it sucks because crying should definitely be a sign that something is wrong.
But
Well,
because Thomas
but-
cried so much.
Yeah, because Thomas cries so much and at like super small things, it's hard to empathize with it, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Like,
I feel
yeah.
that. But like, I don't know if like I'm just being stupid, but
Well,
I feel like,
okay, keep going.
Hold up.
but I feel like I'm becoming a little less sensitive. Like, obviously I do cry a lot, but I don't think I cry to the point where like it was really bad like last time, like like before. I feel like a lot of like small things don't affect me as much now, as of now.
Well, definitely last year I remember Thomas crying over spilling his aloe vera.
Oh my no!
He
Look.
start no let me explain. Let me
Aloe
like
vera?
tell the
I am
story. 'cause
angry.
I even have
Damn,
videos
aloe
of
vera,
it.
really?
Aloe
I-
vera.
I cried
My
too.
aloe vera.
His
That's a
aloe
big,
vera.
Good aloe vera.
Oh my gosh.
But like,
You guys do not
let me
understand.
give context. Literally, if you want to understand how sensitive Thomas is, one time we went like after school to go get aloe vera, and we bought like aloe vera is just like this drink. We went to go get this drink, and then when we came back home, we were walking, and then like he was drinking it, and you know how jokingly a lot of friends just kind of like push it to like make you spill a bit. But I accidentally pushed it too hard because I didn't know my own strength. But
Wow.
Okay.
Wow.
Okay.
With the
Wow.
gym.
Okay. Flexing.
and so it spilled a lot on. It wasn't even that much.
Yes, it
It's
was.
still-
I was
Like
drenched.
he spilled.
I smelled like aloe vera.
No, he
But
did
isn't
not.
that a good thing?
I
Yeah.
became aloe
He
vera.
like spilled. There was like a few drips of aloe vera on his pants.
it wasn't.
Like literally, I have video. of
Okay, you
this.
know how Thomas treasures his jeans.
Yeah.
Like, if you touch it, he's like, "What are you doing?"
Exactly, but
Oh.
like it got a bit wet, and he just broke down. Like he was generally screaming at me.
I was not screaming.
I have the video, Thomas.
No,
Oh.
no, you
Really?
don't.
Because it was so dumb. I was like, "There's no way he's gonna try to like."
No.
Wait, so you recorded him?
No,
No.
He's crying?
Now you cry.
Cry more.
we didn't.
Sky
I
boy.
have it. Sadly, the audio got corrupted.
Uh-huh.
Shut.
Sure.
See? Oh my god.
I will show you later.
Okay,
But
cool.
I recorded because it was just so dumb. Like, there's no way you're gonna
I,
cry
I
about this
wasn't
and get mad over
screaming.
it.
Yeah, I was
You
crying
were.
about it, but I wasn't like screaming at you.
You were screaming.
I was not.
He was screaming.
I was not.
Well, go watch the video.
Okay, we'll
Yeah.
watch. But he was like to the point where he was like, "Dude, what the fuck? You're spilling my aloe vera."
Oh, yeah, I was mad, but I
He
wasn't
was
like.
like, "You don't spill someone's aloe vera, dude." And he was generally just crying so hard of it. I was so shocked. I was like, "Are you like serious right now? You're actually crying? Like, you're like 14 years old and you're crying because I spilled your aloe vera." I was like, "What the what?"
It was just like I was like so excited to drink it. like I bought it and I was like, ooh, I'm gonna drink this up. But then like I literally spilled all of it.
It wasn't.
And then I was but it like while I was drinking it, I took like a good 2 sips.
So you drank most of it and spilled some of it.
No, 2 sips.
Oh right.
2 freaking.
I'll show you later then. Anyways.
But then like you poured it all over me,
Right.
and like there was nothing left, and I felt so sad because I was so excited.
I think this is probably a good place to end it. It was a good episode. I think we definitely had a lot of really good conversations. So I'm really glad as how this turned out because it was definitely not what I expected it to be. if you guys have questions, we would love to answer them, because that's like the biggest part of this, building that community. So we really want you guys to like ask us things and send in your questions. And if you want to do that, follow us on Instagram at teenager_therapy. That's our Instagram. And if you DM us, you could tell us anything you want if you're struggling with something, or if you want to ask us something, you could go ahead and do that. You could also send a voice question if you would prefer to do that. That.
We'll answer them on the next podcast.
Yes, we will. That would be so cool if you guys send voice questions. So please do that. But besides that, I hope you guys enjoyed this episode, and we'll see you next week. Bye.
Bye.